I've found if you study something in depth, when you go into the subject at first, you can make all sorts of strong and sweeping claims because you don't know enough to know how complicated it is, and that's quite exciting. And then the more that you learn, you realize, I feel like I have to equivocate over everything all the time because everything's so complicated. I wish I could go back to when I knew less. But then the transformation can happen where you can become comfortable knowing that you don't know much.
Yeah, so this is a fun process, right? So we will see, you go to an academic conference and you'll see the top scientists in a domain almost tripping over themselves to not make any real statements because they don't want to say something wrong in front of all the other people that probably know a shit ton of stuff that they don't know that is relevant where what they're saying might be wrong. And then you look at people who are radically less educated about a field and, adamant and passionate about it. So now I basically shared half of the story. So one half is, this is a fun story. So related to the knowable and the unknowable, and the known and the unknown within the knowable, our subjective relationship has to do with certainty and uncertainty. And think about it like this: in the pre-modern world, in most of the kind of religious traditions, and maybe not some of the mystical interpretations of them, but at least in the dominant expressions of the religious traditions, certainty had a pretty high value, right? I have certainty that I know who the right God is, and I didn't get the wrong God, and I'm dedicated to that when I'm doing the right things, not the wrong things, and if I get it wrong, I could go to hell instead of going to heaven, or I could reincarnate badly instead of reincarnating well. And I'm certain enough that we can burn women as witches and do crusades and whatever we need to do because we have enough certainty about that rightness, right?
Right.
Now, science started to emerge and have a lot more success in really important things like aiming cannons, and practical physical things, which is actually a part of why it proliferated and won. And it acknowledged certain kinds of uncertainties, but it also gave us the capacity for more certainty. Plenty of questions like, do heavy things and light things or dense things and non-dense things fall at the same speed? We were able to start solving some of that stuff, right? And Earth being round or flat, and so even though within the philosophy of science, the purely uncertainty holding it is very deep, a lot of people carried the kind of emotional orientation towards certainty into the way they did science and wanted to be pretty sure that the universe started with a Big Bang, and matter first, and biology and consciousness emerged from neural networks, and this isn't actually the philosophy of science. It's actually an emotional structure of associating certainty with security and value, and associating uncertainty with insecurity, fear, and lack of value, which is an emotional and existential bias leading to a cognitive bias.